Of your New Jersey forecast for this Halloween weekend. Mike, I saw all the kids getting in their costumes going to school today, getting
Yeah.
ready for Halloween on Sunday.
It was great. Yeah, the big Halloween parades happening today across New Jersey schools. Happy to see that. And the weather holds out. That's some great news for today. Tonight, however, well, we're lucky that Halloween wouldn't be tonight because there's a lot of wind and rain coming after just so much rainfall and wind on Tuesday. In fact, that's what we want to start talking about, how much rain fell just the other day. There's flooding that happened all across New Jersey. We'll show you some video in just a bit of that flooding. First, take a look at some nor'easter rainfall totals here across the state that were totaled up by Wednesday morning. So we had Waldwick coming in with nearly 6.5 inches, Little Falls about 5.8 inches, and all above the 5-inch mark includes West Creek, Homedale, and West Milford. So from top to bottom, New Jersey really got slammed with that wet weather. Now going into today, we'll enjoy a little bit of cloud cover, and then the rain comes back just in time for this evening's commute. So I think as the kids head home from school, it looks a little wet, and temperatures hold in the 50s today, anticipating a lot of chilly weather all around the state. But that's what it should feel like, especially for October. Looking ahead at the rest of the next few days, the headlines here across New Jersey has that wind and rain approaching later on this evening. The showers, they stick around all day long. In fact, they could be heavy at times with very gusty winds. Coastal flooding advisories are posted down across the shore locations in Monmouth and Ocean County. And then we have clearing returning for Halloween. Just stays a little cloudy and cool, but at least it's dry on Sunday. And then it turns chilly all next week. Election Day weather looks pretty decent. We'll talk more about that coming up with the 10-day. But first, your 3-day forecast for the weekend. The weekend weather actually turns quite wet, quite windy tomorrow, with another round of flooding possible. Anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inches may fall. Sunday morning, back to clear sky with briefly, and then some clouds return by the afternoon, but highs eventually make it back up into the low 60s. Monday is clear as well. It's actually a nice, pretty dry start to the work week. We'll talk more about that Election Day forecast as well as next week's weather, the first week in November. All those details coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Looking good for Halloween for the kids.
Yes, I'm so excited, especially for this big kid right here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. So a new Monmouth University poll released this week shows Democratic Governor Phil Murphy continuing to hold his lead over Republican challenger Jack Ciattarelli, 50% to 39%. That's a bit closer than past Monmouth polls, such as a 13-point gap in September. Other surveys, like a recent one from Emerson College, shows a much tighter 6-point race. Election Day is next Tuesday. Joining us now to talk about the race is host of New Jersey Politics, Miss Laura Jones. Good morning, Laura.
Hey, ladies. Good to see you. Looking great in the studio. I just love it.
Thank you. Wish you were here, though.
I know. Next time.
Next time, for sure. So, Laura, first, what are your thoughts on the Monmouth University poll?
Yeah, well, what it's showing really isn't surprising. The closer you get to the election, usually the races tighten up a bit. What it's also showing when you go past the numbers is what are people talking about? What are they concerned about? And the top issue in New Jersey right now, taxes, that affordability, that cost of living. Also topping the list of concerns, education as well as COVID. And where the Republican has the advantage, Jack Ciattarelli, is over taxes, and where Phil Murphy is really polling quite strong is when it comes to education and also COVID. Now, a lot of people didn't even really know, even in New Jersey, the name Phil Murphy until COVID. And then he was out there obviously having to do updates throughout. So, he has that name recognition. Now, Ciattarelli, he's kind of chipping away at Phil Murphy's lead, but not enough at this point that it looks like it would be any type of surprise where the Republican would win. But, you never know. There always could be an October surprise. And also one other thing to note about the poll, it's really showing Democrats are voting for Phil Murphy and Republicans are voting for the Republican Jack Ciattarelli. But that huge unaffiliated voters in New Jersey, that is the larger voting bloc, the unaffiliated, and people always kind of look to that and which way are they going to swing. At this point, the unaffiliated voters or independent voters, they're leaning more towards Phil Murphy.
Mm. So, Laura, the president was here this week. Bernie Sanders is visiting. Do you think the Murphy campaign is trying to bring in some of these national figures because they're a little concerned about these new numbers?
No, I don't think so at all. And here's why. President Joe Biden's numbers in New Jersey are in the negative. In fact, I think Joe Biden's visit to New Jersey probably helped Joe Biden more than it would have helped Phil Murphy. Also, the reason that the bigger names are coming is because throughout the United States, there are only 2 gubernatorial races this year, New Jersey and Virginia. Other gubernatorial races are on the even years, right? We're on the odd year, so there are only 2, and that's always the case, New Jersey and Virginia, so a lot of eyes are on it. The race in Virginia, that is really, really tight. So the national figures, they are making their way to both of the campaigns, but I don't think that Murphy is really concerned or really needs that power of the presidency, because Joe Biden's numbers in New Jersey, they're really bad.
Yeah. The candidates have one more weekend to convince voters. So what happens in campaigns the weekends before a big election like this?
Right now, it's all about get out the vote, because people will look at a poll and they'll say, well, it looks like Phil Murphy, he has he has a double-digit lead. Why bother? Why do I need to get out and vote? Right. So you want to make sure, the campaigns want to make sure there's no apathy. They might see the numbers as, we have a solid lead, or Jack Citarelli's like, maybe we can close it a little bit more. But they don't ever want to take anything for granted. They want to keep up that momentum and make sure that they're reaching out to the voters, getting out the vote, making sure people actually show up at the polls, making sure they understand if you're going to early vote, where you go, what you need to do, and ensuring that there is none of that voter apathy. Because not only do you have the governor's race, you have the entire New Jersey legislature. That's 120 seats that are up in the state Senate and the Assembly. So there's a lot going on. Really, nobody's going to take anything for granted this weekend. They're all, pushing through that final mile, playing to win, and making sure, taking nothing for granted, not taking any poll for granted. They want to just ensure everybody they can who supports them is out and they're casting those votes.
Yeah. And Laura, how much do kind of last minute surprises impact voters, like the Project Veritas videos that were published this week that show a Murphy campaign staffer saying there's going to be statewide vaccine mandates if Murphy is reelected?
Yeah, they don't make a huge difference because it's coming out later. So sometimes there is, from the voter watching it, there might be a skepticism like, well, why is this coming out now? You talk about the October surprise, that this is kind of an October surprise, something that happens late, like last year in the presidential race when President Trump got COVID. People are saying, oh, is that the October surprise? So I think voters, they're very intelligent. They take it with a grain of salt. A lot of times some of these things will play more to the base and to really, again, rally those voters. As a reporter, one of the things I learned very early on is when it gets so close, that last weekend, and especially the last night before, you have to be very careful on what you report and how you report it, because you don't want to jump on something that could be thrown out to distract by pundits, by political operatives. So you have to be cautious. I think the voters are very smart in New Jersey, and they're taking it all with a grain of salt, and they're doing their own research. You have to these days, because news comes from so many different sources. So they have to really, really do their homework. So overall, I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. Maybe rally the base a little bit.
Laura, thank you so much. We'll see you back later on in the show.
You will indeed.
A Morris County school district is putting Columbus Day back on its calendar after announcing they would replace the holiday with Indigenous Peoples Day. The Rockaway Board of Education voted to reinstate the holiday for the 2022, a lot of twos there, 23 school year. A Facebook group called Italian Americans in Rockaway Township, NJ, organized to get people to the school board meeting.
Interesting. Very good. All right, guys. Next up, fashion icon Ken Downing is here to tell us about a big event in New York next week. And you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll keep you updated on who's going to be on the show. Be sure to check us out. Click and follow.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
tip.
Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown.
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Let's bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta once again with your New Jersey forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning to you both. Welcome back, Kara. Great to see you. And we've got some fun for later on this show. Excited about that. You're already dressed in the festive orange, Halloween, traditional, but we get a little more dressed up later today.
Oh, yeah, things get wild.
Yeah. We'll get to that in just a bit. But, as we approach Halloween, it's also the time of the month that the big storms tend to come in. We already had a nor'easter 2 days ago. We have another round of heavy rain and wind beginning tonight. It's also the anniversary of Hurricane Sandy. 9 years ago, that storm made landfall. And we all remember the track as it turned inland. That's what you see here. Coming up is the track as that storm moved inland over the course of several hours, giving us the heavy rainfall. Let's go over to the NJ On Air graphics. I'll talk about this looping image in just a bit. But the NJ On Air graphics will show you the Hurricane Sandy anniversary making landfall as a very strong Category 1 storm before it transitioned to extratropical. Basically gave us wind and rain, but of course the surge, the ocean surge, took the headlines, coming in more than 8 feet over in Sandy Hook and of course many other locations across New Jersey, especially down by Seaside, the Mantoloking area, the Mantoloking Bridge over in that neighborhood where the worst of the winds were, 91-mile-per-hour gusts over in Seaside Heights. Now, we look forward to just some clouds around today. Our forecast looking quite cloudy through this afternoon, and then the rain gets going with gusty winds. So as temperatures go today, we'll hold in the upper 50s, closing in on 60 degrees in Lacey Township, even 62, but it's not a pleasant 62 in Atlantic City. It's kind of misty and windy the whole afternoon, and then the heavy rain gets going later on this evening. Now for the weekend, that rain continues going into tomorrow, even into tomorrow night. The worst of the rain is done by tomorrow evening. In fact, we should have just a few sprinkles around by tomorrow afternoon. Sunday looks quite bright. Halloween, as temperatures climb into the upper 50s, will turn sunny early on in the morning, and then a few clouds return later on Sunday afternoon. Not into the Halloween festivities. That's okay. It's still football Sunday with the weather looking pretty fantastic as the Jets take on the Bengals. Plenty of clear sky around with a kickoff temperature of 62 degrees. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast, talk about next week's weather, some fall foliage, and even about a Medicane that's happening just south of Italy. It's a hurricane-like system in the Mediterranean. Kara got back just in time to avoid that one, dumping feet of rain down in Sicily. And that's the loop you saw there of the satellite image, a Medicane.
Wow. And Sicily's already been bombarded. I just saw some of those images out of Catania, and there.
That is exactly the storm, yeah.
Yeah.
Just sitting and spinning.
Yeah. Okay, good. Glad to be home, just in case I wasn't already.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike. We'll see you in just a little bit. So, Lisa, next week, there's going to be a special benefit run by the national nonprofit Delivering Good. It's called An Evening of Delivering Good. It's going to be held November 3rd at Ziegfeld Ballroom in New York City. They are honoring Ralph Lauren Corporation with the Lifetime Achievement Award, SAP with the Inaugural Innovation Award, and Tanger Outlets with the Impact Award. Joining us now is Master of Ceremonies, fashion icon, and Delivering Good board member, Ken Downing. Good morning.
Good morning. How are all of you?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks so much for joining us.
I am so thrilled to be here this morning. I wish I was in New Jersey with all of you, but I'm on my way to Queens. We're actually going to be delivering goods from the Ralph Lauren Corporation to some very needing and deserving individuals. So always on the road and always being able to deliver good wherever we can in the greater New York, New Jersey area, and also kind of around the country and many times around the world. If it's going to Puerto Rico to help people out after the hurricane or with the wildfires in California, always somebody who needs a helping hand and somebody who needs to be empowered so they can get their life back in order again.
Ken, that's fantastic. And I'm so glad you kind of touched on what delivering good does. Can you kind of expand just a little bit? So what kinds of things do you deliver and to whom?
You know, it's such a great organization, and the story is so simple. We really do deliver good. It's a lot of people that are from manufacturing, from retail, from the home and fashion industry. Many names that you would know. Not only Ralph Lauren's corporation, but IKEA. They ensure that we get beds to children and people that don't wake up in a bed some mornings or any morning. Certainly Michael Kors is an organization that's a huge contributor. Many people like that. So what we do is we collect not only monies when we're fundraising, because it always takes a little bit of money to get it where it needs to go, but we collect unused items and we get them to people that need them. You know, it's interesting what a pair of socks can do to someone if you have no socks, or even something that we take for granted if you're a woman, a bra, and a bed. And many times it's not only children we're helping, at-risk youth, certainly many families who find themselves in unfortunate situations, and often, you know, the elderly. So we have a very broad reach of the individuals that we support and come from many different situations. I mean, even many in the military that come back and don't have a suit so they can have a job interview. So it's really about empowering people, but getting things that they need literally into their hands. The story is great, and what we do is we deliver good. We deliver good and goods to people who need them.
That's so special. So the honorees this year, much like yourself, are legends in the fashion industry. Why were they chosen?
You are very flattering, and thank you. Well, one, I think when you look at Ralph Lauren the man, Ralph Lauren, his family, and how Ralph Lauren and his family run their organization, it's very much about family. And the theme of the event this season is the power of family, but not only your biological family, because we're all born into a family, but many times we create a family that we gather around us. And it can be our friends, it can be people that we work with. And when you look at how Ralph Lauren runs his organization, not only is he a brilliant marketer, an amazing designer, but he's always given back. And Ralph has always understood the importance of, if you're going to be in the community, you need to be part of the community. And Ralph, his family, and certainly his organization have always been very philanthropic from the very beginning. And they do it with such strength and such commitment that it's very authentic to them. It's just part of the DNA of what Ralph Lauren is. Certainly SAP, an amazing organization. Many people may not know about SAP, but it powers and is an engine for many things that you probably have on your phone right now as an app. Not only a national organization, but they have an international reach. And they as well, part of their organization is really the philanthropic good works that they do. And then of course, Tanger Outlets, another great group who's always been a great support of delivering good and really been very helpful to us with goods that we need to be able to share, but also being able to contribute to us as well. So it was nice to reach into all of our Rolodex, if you will, not that anybody has a Rolodex anymore, but find these great companies who have the same ethos and mission that we do to get things to people that are really in need. And so it's going to be an amazing evening. It's our inaugural event back into a live event, which, as you're seeing probably around the cities and the country, people are returning to larger events again. So we are doing an in-person event, but you can also see it. We're live streaming. Live from the Big Petal Ballroom. I'm the master of ceremonies as well as being the chairperson, but we have DJ Hestaprin, who's going to be spinning music at the beginning. We have Melanie Charles and her band. She's actually writes a lot of her own work and her own music, so she'll be performing. Lorenzo the violinist, we have Sing Harlem. So it's not only going to be a great evening of fundraising, which is certainly important, but a lot of beautiful entertainment as well. You know, we include many of the families and individuals that we empower into the event, and we allow them to tell their stories. So you'll hear some pieces that are taped, and then live individuals who will be sharing how delivering good has impacted them and empower them to get their life back onto a track where they can take control of what they're doing and really matriculate back into the society with great integrity and great respect.
Ken, that is so incredible. Can you just tell us a little bit, you said the event's going to be live streaming. Where can people watch the event? Where can they learn more? Or if they wanted to donate or somehow get involved with delivering goods, where do we go? What do we look for?
Well, one, if you want to donate, absolutely. We're nearing our fundraising goal. We want to raise over $1 million too, but we have a stretch goal. We retailers, we always stretch goals. We give ourselves, we want to get it bigger. It's the great world of being retail and being in fashion and such. Go to deliveringgood.com. There's all the information you need to know. You can still buy tables. You can certainly contribute. We are doing a silent auction that's going to go live this weekend with Charity Buzz. You can actually even bid on lunch at Carpaccio and a shopping experience with me in New Jersey at American Dream, where I'm the Chief Creative Officer. So you can spend an afternoon with moi, and we can drink champagne and have lunch, and then go through the garden and the koi ponds over to Saks Fifth Avenue and shop the day away. I will be your personal stylist. These kind of experiences, as well as a day at American Dream. I'm sure you've all seen it, probably driven by it, with the DreamWorks Water Park, the Nickelodeon Universe Park, and then a day in a Jonathan Adler Cabana. So we were really reaching for the idea of what experiences more than kind of items, because it really feels that people want to enjoy great experiences. So also look for the silent auction. You can contribute that way and maybe be a winner and have something wonderful to do.
Yeah,
definitely bidding on that shopping experience.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yes.
We need that. We're going to need that experience for sure. So we'll jump right on that. Ken Downing, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We so appreciate your time and all your information. Again, the organization is Delivering Good, and you said it's deliveringgood.com is the website. Yes.
Yeah, it is. So, and thank you all for allowing us to share our story with all of you, and looking forward to the event on the 3rd.
Our pleasure. Thanks again, Ken. You have a great weekend.
Be well. You as well.
Thanks so much. So Kara has been away for weeks, as you probably realize, if you are diehards of the show. And it wasn't for any reason other than the fact that she was traveling around Italy. And we're so happy to have her back home in New Jersey. So tell us all about the trip.
The trip was incredible. So we, because it's been so long since we were able to travel and to get abroad, and for me, I have family there. So we went for 3 weeks. The first week was spent with family, and then we did 10 days. That is my Cara's Cucina tour of Italy. So I put together this culinary tour where we take people around. So this year we did the region of Campania, which is Naples, Sorrento, the Amalfi Coast, and basically ate our way through the region. Those are the Faraglioni rocks off of Capri. We went to the top, Anna Capri. That's Mount Vesuvius, looking from my hotel room, actually.
Wow.
In Sorrento. We made classic pizza margherita in Naples with this gentleman, this chef. He is a world champion pizzaiola. He has won several awards for his pizzas, and he sat there and taught us all how to make the original pizza margherita. And so those are the kind of experiences that I like to give my my clients. This was a little video that we threw together. That was our group, that whole group there. We made gnocchi sorrentino in Sorrento. So we just had this wonderful time, and I love to do this and kind of showcase the real Italy. I think sometimes so many people, we go on these big tours, and it's like you're always living out of bag because you're going from, Milan to Florence to Rome to Venice to Naples, and you don't really get to kind of sit and enjoy something. So what I like to do is put together trips where you come, park it for a week. We're going to take a little bus tour every day. We saw Amalfi, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We saw Ravello, Positano. We went to the ruins of Pompeii. And then later in the day, we went around the other side to a vineyard that grows its vines off of the volcanic soil of Mount Vesuvius. So, you really got to see, this place can be very destructive, but it's so life-giving at the same time. So I really kind of immersed everybody in Campanian food and culture. And I just had a meeting last night. We're already working on the next one. And we'll be going to my family's home region of Abruzzo. So we're hoping to get that put together very soon. The when is the key. We're looking probably next May. So but join the email list, and we'll get everybody on there. You get early access and a bit of a discount. So
that is awesome. How many people went with you this time?
So we actually had, unfortunately, we had 18 to 19 people booked, and in the last month leading up to the trip, a couple of them had a couple of different health issues and some family issues that prevented them from going. So we were a total of 12, and I made 13 myself by the time it was all said and done. But we had a great time. We had a lot of repeat customers who had come from our original trip in 2018. And I think everybody had a great time. At least that's what they said to me. So.
How can you not? I mean, we saw these pictures. And I mean, the gentleman that won Best Pizza, I mean, to win Best Pizza, I guess, in Italy, you got to be really good.
Exactly. In the place where it was invented. So,
yeah.
And just, we meet the most wonderful people along the way too, from our tour managers to the chefs that we work with. And we even, we were at our farm tour. We went to a limoncello farm. And we just happened to run into this couple from Canada who on a whim had kind of like booked this vacation for themselves, and they just wound up with our group. They were so lovely. We made that the farm had set up a separate table for them, and we were the opposite of Mean Girls. We were like, no, you have to come sit. You have to come sit with us instead and eat. So we made these. They were like on their pre-honeymoon, and we were like, come sit with us and eat with us instead.
That's what Kara invited me to her tour back in 2018. I stopped in for the day, and I can attest Kara's Cucina tour is a lot of fun. A lot of fun, amazing. I mean, where else do you get to go to a latteria where they make the cheese there at the formaggio, and they were able to you see the sheep that are they get the milk, and then they make the cheese, and then you eat the cheese right there. There was a lot of eating on her tour, and we like that.
Yeah, of course. That's the TV show, Kara, for you.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Right? Like Kara on the road in Italy, visiting these cool underground spots. That's the show. That's it.
I'm down. Let's do it. Does Longshot want to produce it?
Yes, of course.
Let's make that happen.
Mike,
Kara, you
Gerald,
said May.
the whole team. Let's go.
Yeah, you said May 2022?
That's what I'm looking at. Yes. Yeah, I just had an initial meeting last night. So
Mike, you in?
I'm already planning a trip in May 2022, following the itinerary of this past tour that Kara did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a short train ride up to you. Maybe we'll come.
It is. I was going to say, you can come visit.
Mike, where are you from? Where are your roots in Italy?
Not far from her, the Abruzzo region.
Oh, okay.
L'Aquila up on the hill, not far, about an hour from where they had the big earthquake a couple years ago. So, about 90 minutes east of Rome.
Okay,
cool.
We're a little far because we're all the way to the coast on the Adriatic. So my family's in Chieti. And what about you? You're further south.
Oh, I'm way south. Calabrese in Sicily.
There you go. Yeah.
My hometown in Sicily is about an hour from the volcano, from Etna. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny because I always have to explain to them, first of all, because they're still very regional there, and they get a little confused. So, I'm half Abruzzese. My other side of my mom's family is from Piemonte, which is the region that borders France.
Wow.
That's so weird for them. Like those two things would never find one another.
Different.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about Sicily in the next weather update, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you in a minute.
We'll get that. Thank you, Mike.
Kara, well, welcome back. We're so happy to have you on.
It's good to be home. It's good to be back with friends.
But that looked amazing.
Yeah.
I really was jealous over every Instagram post. And you gained no weight.
Oh, you're sweet. You're very kind.
Don't, because in Italy, you don't gain weight. There's something in the food.
There's something not in the food, I think is what it is.
Yes. But, right, you could eat and eat all the carbs.
Yeah. I mean, we were probably walking 12,000, because I wear my Fitbit. We were doing 12,000 to 15,000 steps a day. Wow. I mean, we were earning it for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Well, next we're going to meet the owner of a new bakery in Bergen County, More Food. Karen. And you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll keep you updated on who is going to be on the show. Be sure to check us out and click follow.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Swing the hips. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Favetta on your New Jersey weather forecast. Hi, Mike.
Very good morning to you both. You promised I'd talk about southern Italy, the Calabria region, and Sicily. So let's go right to the maps, because there is a big tropical-like system, not a hurricane, but a medicane, because it's a tropical-like system that forms in the Caribbean. I am not making this up. That's actually the name. So you see Sicily right there. I'll put on the satellite, and that is the storm spinning around, much like a tropical system would. So again, here's Sicily, draw that in. There's the boot of Italy. And with this storm pushing in so much rain, dumping feet of rain on the East Coast there toward Catania, it's spinning around just like a typical hurricane would, even spinning in the same direction. So a very unique system and phenomenon happening there in the the Mediterranean. See, we usually talk about storms in the Caribbean. So that is taking over and giving really poor weather to the southern part of the country. Now, our forecast here for the New Jersey region features a mostly cloudy sky. In fact, the winds really get going with the foliage popping and peaking up in the northern part of the state. Gotta head out before it's too late, because a lot of these trees after the second wind event are going to be de-leafed, and you won't see many leaves around, especially after this next round of gusty winds. So the shades of orange are where we have a peak, even up toward the northern part of Sussex County, already in past peak, and that's as of a few days ago. Now, with our typical weather pattern giving New Jersey the late October peak period, a lot of the trees this year are late. This is the average that you see. So I think we'll continue to enjoy some of the foliage even going into early November, again, with whatever leaves are left on the trees. The 7-day forecast showing mostly cloudy skies today, back to rain tonight, rain and wind all day tomorrow, and then we're right back to some sunshine on Sunday morning. So Halloween starting off dry, turning cloudy, but at least there's no rain for the trick-or-treating weather for the kids. By Monday, it's back to full sunshine. We have a few sprinkles in the picture for next week. Maybe on Tuesday, a light shower, but it's the chill that you notice, with temperatures holding in the 50s all next week. That November chill that's typical of the first week of November settles in and makes it quite cool going into the end of the week. So our forecast looking pretty wet today. Clouds already across the state, but we're going to have some fun in just a little bit, because I got to go get changed, and we're going to play dress up now and get into character for our Halloween costume. So I'm excited for that, Lisa, Marie, and Kara. Should be fun.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. I'm so excited for this, by the way.
I know.
This is one of my favorite holidays, and we're kicking it off in such great fashion.
Yes, yeah. And so appropriate for this crew in this show.
Yes, yes. We're not giving anything away yet. We had some guesses on our Instagram. I posted a little sneak peek after picking up the costumes yesterday, but let's see. Let's see if everyone was right.
Let's see. But in the meantime, we are going to bring in our next guest. Mike, thank you very much. Go get changed. Our next guest appeared on season 4 of Food Network's Spring Baking Championship, and now she's opening her own bakery here in New Jersey. Please welcome Christina Vazquez to the show. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm hungry looking at everything around you already.
Yes. Well, I put a little setup here. This is just a fraction of what we have going on. We're already baking at my shop quite early this morning.
That is fabulous. So tell us about the bakery. What's the name of it? Where is it? What do you guys make?
So we are Petal Cakery. We're going to be located right in Bergen County in Glen Rock, New Jersey, off Rodney Street. I have an address now, which is great. Right? And our focus is custom cakes, of course, for every occasion, weddings, birthdays, you name it. And we also do small treats like our French macaroons here. We have meringue kisses, everything that you can possibly imagine, we can bake it. And we are actually having our soft opening on Sunday on Halloween.
Yeah. And I know that this is the anniversary of your business. So tell us how you got started.
So I got started a while ago. I was a sous chef in Mystic, Connecticut, under a brilliant chef named Chef Adam. And he actually put me and applied me for my first Food Network show without me knowing. And then he kind of baby bird pushed me out of the nest and said, you're going to go on. It's time. You're ready. Start your own thing, either here with me or back home in Jersey. So naturally, I went back home to New Jersey, started my business, and now we're 3 shows later, 4 years into the business, and it is growing so rapidly, and we're ready to open our brick and mortar.
Christina, that is fantastic. So tell us, you said you do custom cakes. I mean, is there something that you specialize in or that you love to make? Like if I were to call you and say, you know, make me a birthday cake, what's your knock it out of the park?
My knock it out of the park is always just try to go above and beyond and extra for what the client wants. We love the glitz, we love flowers, we love piping and detail and edible glitter on everything and gold leaf. That's like our signature, is pretty, over the top. You eat with your eyes first. So we want to make sure that when you see this cake, you don't want to cut it because it's so beautiful and it's so fun and it's bright. It's really decor for your event.
The details on these cakes we're looking at right now were unbelievable.
There was just one with like lemons and it looked like Italian tile. I was,
yes, that was
like, where is that?
That was an Amalfi Coast bridal shower that we did. So we did that cake along with lemon cookies, tile sugar cookies, lemon macaroons. It was a beautiful setup.
Kara, your birthday's in November.
My birthday's next Saturday.
Yeah, so I think we need to get your birthday cake from Christina because this is unbelievable.
That was really a selfish question. I was going to be like, I want to see what she says.
Really, it's about creating beautiful work that also tastes good. So anything you can imagine, I'm sure we can bake it.
I love it.
Yeah, I want to know, tell us about the event happening on Halloween.
So on Halloween, our construction process really took a long time, obviously, with COVID and getting it going, as I'm sure a bunch of other small businesses have experienced. So I wanted to do an event to celebrate our 4-year anniversary, but also to give our customers a look of, hey, this is where we're going to be. This is the shop. We repurposed a 2-bay garage to be a beautiful little corner now in Glen Rock, and I want to share that with everyone. So we're going to do an outdoor event where we are going to do basically a glorified, massive bake sale. It's going to have every fall treat you can possibly imagine on theme, just deliciousness. And it's going to be right on our site so people can walk up, buy something, just check out. We have a beautiful floral archway, take a photo under it, say hello, and get used to where we're going to be because we'll be grand opening, hopefully that following week.
That's fantastic. Well, if you're in the Glen Rock area, definitely check that out on your trick-or-treat route.
Yeah,
absolutely. So you can learn more at petaldustcakery.com. Christina, I'm about to lick the monitor in front of me.
And this is a girl that just got back from Italy.
Pumpkin biscotti here. I've been eating the pumpkin biscotti with my coffee all morning, so I need to.
Girl after my own heart. Christina Vazquez, Petal Dust Cakery. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck to you. Congratulations on your opening, and we hope to be up there soon to have a little nosh for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good
one. You too.
That looked phenomenal.
That looked so good. Those cakes were beautiful.
Too beautiful almost to eat. Like you don't want to cut them.
Exactly.
So Kara, Mike, and I are going to get into the Halloween spirit. So let's bring in our Laura Jones, who is going to be taking over the show from here for a little while. And we're going to go change in our costumes.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't wait to see if we're going to get tricked or treated when you get back.
It's always a treat when Lisa and I are here. Come on now.
Right. I'm coming back those cakes. Seriously, I'm ready to order one because my daughter's graduating from high school next year. I'm like, okay.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everything's better with cake. All right.
All right, Laura, take it away. We'll be right back.
All right. Checking out some of the other headlines.
Awesome.
A criminal complaint filed by a police investigator accuses former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of committing misdemeanor sex crimes. The complaint accuses Cuomo of putting his hand under a woman's shirt in December of last year. Cuomo's attorney released a statement saying, Governor Cuomo has never assaulted anyone, and Sheriff Apple's motives are patently improper. Sheriff Apple didn't even tell the district attorney what he was doing, but Apple's behavior is no surprise given his August 7th press conference, where he essentially pronounced Governor guilty before doing an investigation and his office leaking of grand jury information. This is not professional law enforcement. This is politics. And that was, again, a quote from Governor Cuomo's attorney. Well, here in New Jersey, there is word that Netflix is looking to move to New Jersey. They're eyeing a former Fort Monmouth property, which has been closed down for more than a decade. Gerald D'Ambria is joining us now to talk a little bit more about that. Hey, Gerald, first of all, let's talk a little bit about Fort Monmouth. I'm familiar with Fort Monmouth. People knew it as the military base. So what's
Right.
going on? Why?
Well, look, first, why New Jersey, right? I mean, we have a lot of film and movie history here, where the first movie studio was here in New Jersey in West Orange. I mean, Fort Lee was a long time ago the film capital of the world. Before Hollywood, everyone was here in New Jersey. So can it come back? Well, we have the space here. I mean, think about how cool it would be to have Netflix producing a lot of their programming right here in New Jersey. And so Fort Monmouth, 289 acres of space, warehouses, buildings, offices. I mean, it's all there. Obviously, it probably all needs to be renovated and turned into a modern facility. But the folks who are selling Fort Monmouth, they're looking for one buyer for 289 acres. So you have to imagine there aren't a lot of people out there looking for a 289 acre property. But you know what? Netflix, we know for quite some time, has been looking for space. They've been looking around New York. They've been looking in Brooklyn. They've been looking at all different places. Amazon has as well. We know, famously they were supposed to move into New York and they did not. But this is a prime location. It's right outside New York City, easy access right to the Garden State Parkway, to the airports, to the ferries. It is a great, great location, and nothing is happening there right now. So they may be able to pick up this property for $54 million.
$54 million for all that acreage. That's a lot of acreage. I mean,
Yeah.
I think some people would say, well, why are you using an old military base?
Well, I mean, you think about it. You have all of these warehouses in a military base. I've been to Fort Monmouth, and Laura, I'm sure you have as well as your time as a reporter. There's just a ton of huge buildings there. So you have the ability to turn a lot of these buildings into just massive studio space. If you look around New Jersey, we've had a lot of studios open up in Trenton and in Jersey City. The one that just recently opened in Jersey City is massive. It is just this massive, giant warehouse with these huge, clean, empty spaces that film and television can build their sets in. And they can do the same thing here at Fort Monmouth. They can retrofit all of these buildings for their needs. And, everything's there. It's not really a build, it's a renovation. And maybe they build some new properties, but they would have their own campus. Essentially, I mean, they would have their own campus here in New Jersey.
Well, and one of the other things that's kind of sticking out in my mind is if you're doing a production there, they have housing where you can have actors and actresses while they're staying on location. That kind of came to my mind. And it does seem like there are a lot of films and TV productions that are in New Jersey. So what is it bringing the crews and production companies here?
Well, first, I'm not sure those actors are going to stay in the barracks. So they'll probably be in New York at the hotels. So unless, it could bring some nice new hotels here. But look, New Jersey has a really, really aggressive program right now for film and television. So they offer tax credits for the amount of money you spend on film and production. And it's 37% of your spend on different productions. It has to all be approved by the state, and there's a whole process. But these tax credits basically reduce a company's tax liability, or they can sell them and actually make some money off them. So there's a lot of incentives to come here. They have a lot of other programs like New Jersey Emerge. There's the Urban Enterprise Zone. There's a lot of programs that are bringing these companies here and bringing film production here. And I mean, they even have a program where if a production company comes in and leases space, there's actually incentives to lease and renovate space if you're here for 48 months. They're really aggressively trying to attract people to our state, and that's going to bring a lot of jobs here because Laura, part of the program is that you actually have to use New Jersey businesses. You have to buy products from New Jersey businesses. So it's not just the jobs they're bringing here; it's all of that that's going to spread out and bring You have to get your food from New Jersey restaurants. You have to get your equipment through New Jersey companies. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I think that's such a great idea because a lot of production companies go up to Canada and, we want to keep schools, not only in the United States, but also in New Jersey. There's a lot of talent. And like you said, that the domino effect of working with the local businesses, certainly we really need that in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So what else is shooting in New Jersey right now? Any other projects going on?
There's a lot, but just one thing that came to mind, Laura, is that in New Jersey we're so unique. You've been all around the state like I have, and we have the mountains, we have the shore, we have farmland, we have cities, we have all kinds of different urban and suburban areas. I mean, we have pretty much any setting you may need for a TV show, any outdoor setting, any indoor setting, tons of properties that you can lease. I mean, look at how often The Sopranos would lease different homes throughout New Jersey, and that's the easiest example to use. But okay, so what else is shooting? I do have a little list here. All right, I have The Food That America Built, FBI Most Wanted, Law and Order, Organized Crime. Those are the three that jumped out at me.
Yeah.
There's a whole big list. There are a whole bunch of productions happening right now all over the state. So it is getting really, really busy here. So don't be surprised to see a whole bunch of production trucks in your neighborhood in the near future.
I love it because, we're sandwiched between New York and Philadelphia, and so much talent, are going to those areas. It's like, why not New Jersey? I just love this. One other question, I don't want to put you on the spot. Yeah. Is this through the New Jersey Economic Development Authority? Are they the ones looking to? Okay. All right. Yeah. That's the Fort Monmouth Development.
It is. It's primarily done through them. Right. And, it is a whole process you have to get approved for.
Right.
And, per project, but it is capped. It is capped at $100 million in tax credits per year. But you know what? From my conversations, people are using these tax credits. Yeah. But the good thing is that if you bring your project here and you don't get approved this year, you can actually get in queue. And then when the money's reallocated next year, you can get your tax credits next year. So you might have to wait a little bit, but they're still delivering those tax credits for those companies, and not saying, hey, sorry, we ran out, even though you brought your whole company here.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. Netflix coming to Fort Monmouth and to be able to use, because there's so much property, like you said, we've both toured it, and there's so much empty space there that they can use to, shoot all types of scenes. And they even have a lot of soundproof rooms already because of the nature of what was happening at a military base that had to be very private. So a lot of good bones in place already. Yeah. So looking forward to keeping us updated on the progress of that. Gerald, thank you.
Thanks, Laura.
All right. And up next, we are going to be joined back with Lisa Marie and Cara DeFalvo and Mike. They're going to be getting into their Halloween costumes. And remember, you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're going to keep you updated on who's going to be on the show. Be sure to check us out, click and follow. And like I said, Lisa, Cara, and Mike, they're going to be back on the other side of the break leading up to this Halloween weekend. Stay with us.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Swing the hips. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Surprise!
Welcome to ancient Rome.
I mean, when we were trying to come up with a Halloween theme, and let's bring in Mike Vivetta so we can see his costume.
I'm your leader,
Obviously.
Caesar
Yes.
Augustus.
Oh, that looks so great on you. I just regret that the gladiator head was sold out everywhere.
That's okay. That's all right. I got to keep my hair all nice for the rest of today. So.
Exactly.
He's got to maintain his boyish good looks.
But what else could we be than Roman gladiators and goddesses?
I don't know. I mean, after you, Kara, coming back from Italy, we had Lisa Marie and I discussing the time when my Italian teacher left me in Rome as a 14-year-old at the Coliseum.
My favorite story ever.
It was funny. Wasn't fun for my mother when I told her about it.
I'm sure.
Wanted I don't
No,
know.
but
Anyway,
we can't help ourselves, I guess. We really have a very Italian American theme going on.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, and it was by accident. This totally wasn't by design.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But this was.
Yes. So thank you, Party City and Halloween City, for addressing us.
Yes.
and it was fun to get the text from Lisa Marie yesterday saying, "Mike, this will look good, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Guess we're doing this last minute, like most people do in New Jersey." Yeah.
It was packed. Can I say Halloween is big business?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You could not find a parking spot in Party City, and the line was out the door, and a lot of things were sold out, like the gladiator head.
We can gather, which is nice. We can gather without worry. So that's some good news and kind of get on with things. So on that note, if you're gathering maybe for dinner later this evening, I hope your costume is waterproof because it will be raining sideways here in New Jersey after 7 o'clock tonight. So going out to a Halloween party, you might get soaked if you don't bring along the biggest umbrella you can find. In fact, even outdoor dining, a big X there. So we'll bring up the weather menu going through this evening with our forecast looking really wet after around 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. The temperatures are chilly too, so a cold, wet, sideways rain this evening really doesn't get much worse than that. And our forecast puts more wind into the overnight, so leaving that party, heading home, quite dangerous on the roads, especially with the torrential downpours and gusty winds in excess of 40 or 50 miles per hour. Now, the forecast for tomorrow doesn't get much better, with the 7-day forecast showing mostly cloudy skies and, of course, the rain continuing tomorrow with the winds. We see the rain finally wrap up by the dinner hour tomorrow. So your Halloween parties on Saturday actually don't look all that bad, especially if they're later on at night when most of the rain has wrapped up. There'll still be some gusty breezes around, but otherwise, most of the rain is done by evening time tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we enjoy the clear sky to start. Trick-or-treat weather is great. Lots of sunshine for the afternoon. And then heading into the evening hours, sunset closer to 6 p.m. We'll enjoy dry weather with just some clouds arriving in the afternoon. 63 degrees as the high, so still cool as the kids run from house to house trick-or-treating. Now, by Monday and Tuesday, the temperatures cool off into Election Day. A chance of a light spotty shower on Tuesday, but at least no more big storms coming up on the 7-day. That's some great news because to have 2 in a row, back-to-back, a little uneasy, especially with all that flooding that occurred here in New Jersey. We even have some flooded spots that were across the state, and with the clearing that will take place next week, we get to enjoy a nice, calm start to the month of November. Looking really forward to that, and also looking forward to the start of the winter season because it's around the corner, and get excited for things like that.
There's our costumes next year. Game of Thrones. Winter is coming.
That sounds good.
Although with this forecast, we should have done Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
That would work too.
Yeah, too much rain in New Jersey.
We've got ideas. We should, we'll let the fans pick next year.
Exactly.
We'll put it up on Instagram and folks can follow us. So Mike, we might as well let Mike stick with us for this next little bit because we're talking about Halloween candy.
Yes, and these are the top 10 most popular Halloween candies according to candystore.com. Ready for this list? Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yes.
Of course.
Totally. Skittles. M&M's, definitely.
Yes.
Starburst. No. Hot tamales?
Ooh, definitely not.
Right.
Sour Patch Kids?
Back in the day, yes, but I can't do it now as a grown-up.
Hershey Kisses, that's a classic. Snickers, Tootsie Pops.
Which I also skeeve.
And candy corn, which I'm very surprised about because people have a love-hate with candy corn.
Yeah, because apparently it also tops the 10 worst Halloween candies as well. So I didn't know we could duplicate, but the first one is candy corn. Circus peanuts.
Circus peanuts.
When was the last time anybody was out at Circus to have circus peanuts? Peanut butter kisses. Okay.
Huh?
Smarties. Yeah. Necco wafers. I kind of like Necco wafers. They never bothered me. There's nothing to them. Wax Coke bottles. Where does anybody find this anymore?
Maybe in 1995.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 1955, but okay.
No, we're not that old. I remember them as a little kid,
Yeah,
but I don't, Mary Jane's, Tootsie Rolls, which, good and plenty. Black licorice, which I don't like as a candy, but I love as a liqueur. So there's a grown-up version there.
There is.
Did you guys purchase your Halloween candy yet to give out?
All right, so I get away with murder on Halloween because I live in a 2-family home and I am the back door. No one comes to my door to trick or treat. When I first moved in, I bought a huge bag of candy, not realizing that nobody was going to come down the driveway and knock on my doorbell. So I ate that for like all of November.
Growing up in a house in Morris Plains, we were like the hot spot. We would run out of candy by 7 o'clock every year.
I see your mom being the kind of mom that gets like the good stuff too.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we weren't the house that gave away the full candy bars like
Not
across
the
the street.
full size, but
the
like
guy
the good one.
owned a candy shop, so it's like, how do you compete with that? But we would change costumes and then go back later with different costumes to get another candy bar. Oh, we were smart. Yeah.
The most bizarre giveaway on my block was a bag of 50 pennies. That's what they would get. So they would wrap pennies and tie it up with string and just give 50 pennies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Random.
Hi,
Laura.
I'm having to go to my son's school in like 2 hours. And I don't have a costume. So I think I'm just going to go as a MIB, mom in black.
Oh.
Right.
I like that.
Like that.
I like that.
Nice and simple. Although I'm loving your all's costumes. And I have a little bit of an answer to how the candy, like the Coke bottles and things. So all these candy stores and candy experiences are a big deal. And actually my daughter or my son, I had a candy truck that came for his birthday. And all of these vintage candies are back. And it's kind of a cool thing. You can buy candies, let's say candies, if you want to buy a candy box from the 50s, from the 60s, from the 70s.
Okay.
And I think it's called Curbside Confections in New Jersey. And they had all of it. And they had good stuff too. I shouldn't say that it wasn't good stuff, but I don't like those Coke bottles.
Yeah, those wax Coke bottles were
Weird.
rough.
It gives me a headache thinking about it. It gives me a headache thinking about it.
Yeah. Kara and I were discussing before about trick-or-treating hotspots, and I think the hottest spot in the state is actually right in your town in Montclair Avenue. So I go every year with my nieces. Plans have changed now. They're in middle school, so they don't need it.
They want around,
and I have my little ones.
I was going to say, this the baby's first Halloween?
This is the baby's first Halloween. Yeah. So
tell them your costume's so cute.
I'm gonna post. We'll post it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll keep people in suspense.
Oh, okay.
But
good.
it's very
it's
cute.
Adorable.
It's very, very cute. But anyway, Montclair Avenue, they are so into Halloween. First of all, they attract thousands of kids.
Here's why because it's the really bougie part of town.
It is. It is.
And there's a lot of Montclair happens to boast a lot of famous residents. Many of them live in this area. And so there's lots of goodies for the grown-ups too.
Bobby Brown is giving out makeup.
Artist gives out makeup.
Oh, I'm coming there because
I think the gentleman, the rumor I heard is the gentleman who like owns Scholastic Books is there, and there's like books and
so
stuff.
Yes, I can confirm. It's actually a woman that was like a higher up at Scholastic. So she's known as the Book House. So she has tables by age group and she gives out stacks of books. It was the best house ever. Yes.
Nice. Liverpool rocks it out on North Union Street. But I don't know. I kind of want to go get the makeup.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. It's so much fun. It is so popular. People, like companies, have pop-ups. So like there was one year, like a toothpaste company based in Montclair. I think it's called Hello. Toothpaste, like Mr. Hello toothpaste mascot was walking, giving out samples because there was a built-in audience.
Yeah, and Halloween, considering all the candy, toothpaste is probably a good thing.
Exactly. Exactly. When you purchase a house on that street, one of the prerequisites is you better be into Halloween because you have to have your house decked out. Otherwise, you'd be the black sheep of the block. So that's my go-to.
Well, now that you blew it up here, it's going to be even busier.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Sorry, guys. Sorry, Montclair Avenue.
All right, guys, listen, that is it for us this week on New Jersey Morning Show. We hope you all have a very happy Halloween. Please, we'll be posting pictures of our costumes, and we would love to see yours as well. So please send them on over to us. Mike, Laura, happy Halloween to both of you
too.
And to your families.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to
Mention
you.
what's behind us?
Yes, so we just want to shout out Just Jersey Goods out of Morristown. Thank you for decorating our set with your treats. Make sure to check them out, especially with the holidays coming up and the whole supply chain crisis.
Yeah.
You can find really good
Keep it
holiday
local.
gifts, local, made local by local people. And they're right in the heart of Morristown, and they're a very cool spot. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week live Friday mornings at 9 a.m. That's it for the New Jersey Morning Show.